Thursday morning. The regular season in baseball is in the books. Started in March, ended in October, and we've got two baseball teams that are getting ready for some October postseason baseball. The Mets start on Friday night. The Yankees wait around to get their opponent and then start on Tuesday night. And now we have a Game 1 starter named. It is not Jacob deGrom, so Buck Showalter mixing some things around, trying some things out, and it's going to be Max Scherzer starting Game 1, and we don't know right now where he's going to go for Game 2. And when I brought this theory up to you yesterday, I believe you called it stupid. You said to me, I'm not going to talk about this because it's stupid. And then Joel Sherman wrote an article about it saying that that's what they may do is save deGrom for Game 3 or Game 1 of the NLDS. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Good morning there, G. Are we ready to turn the page this morning?
Not quite.
Not quite. I didn't think so. I figured there was going to be some lingering effects. I
told you I'm standing by it. Go and win Friday night,
right.
Get the juice back, and then I just can't go into that series all fired up until I see them play better.
When you were talking about that theory of what the Mets may do with their pitching staff, and Joel Sherman wrote the article after you had brought it up yesterday morning, I still think it's stupid.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Just win the games. You cannot, you just got to take every game all into itself and you win every game. That you got to give your team the best shot to win the games. Not worry about the next set of circumstances or problems if, in fact, you go on to win. I'm just telling you, this maybe I know Buck has done this before. I read the same article. You sent it to me. I would just say, look, man, just get to the next round. That's all that matters right now. Just get to the next round. And then when you get to the next round, that's when you figure out what you're going to do.
So you don't like the fact that if you win Game 1,
oh boy,
if you win Game 1, then you have in an elimination game, Game 3, if it goes that far, Jacob deGrom. You don't like that part of it? Because that, to me, I like better than trying to save him for the next series, is the fact that I would rather have deGrom in, even though deGrom let us down last time, but so did Bassett, but I'd rather have deGrom in that Game 3 elimination on Sunday than in Game 2, quite frankly, and Bassett in that Game 3.
All right. I'm just saying, I'm saying this, and I'm trying to be practical about it. I don't want to get over emotional about it, and I don't want to make more out of it than there really is. I'm just saying it's simple for me. You have two Hall of Fame pitchers. Mm-hmm. You use them in back-to-back games, and you win the series in 2 games if you can. That's the way I look at it. Because the way that you're looking at it, or not you, per se, although you were the first that brought it up, and I don't know where you got it from. Maybe you went back.
I wasn't the first to bring it up. There were others that were talking
I felt like
it.
you did. Well, to me, it was you were the first. Maybe you went back and you looked at your scorebook when you were, keeping score for Neil Heaton and Bellport High School. But, if you take anything for granted, that's basically when you lose, man. You take nothing for granted. And the way that you made it sound, hey, I got deGrom in an elimination game, that means you're expecting that either Scherzer or Bassett are going to lose the game, or the bullpen will lose the game. I'm telling you, man, you just got to play to win.
Do you think Buck looks at it like he's taking it for granted, though? Because he's not a guy who takes anything for granted, and we've trusted him all year. He's been around baseball his entire life. You've loved this guy way before he was the Mets manager. You used to talk about him all the time. I don't think he's doing this or potentially thinking about doing this because he's taking things for granted.
I would say this is not a decision that he's making on his own. There's no way. If, in fact, that is the decision, we do not know if that is the decision. Let's say they lose Game 1.
Well, then deGrom, says it in the article. deGrom in Game 2.
Yeah, in other words, deGrom's going to be pitching any sort of elimination game.
Yeah.
I understand that. My thing is I just want to win, and I want to win as quickly as possible, and I want to put my best foot forward to do that, and then I'll worry about the next series. And I don't want to get into like an elongated argument and discussion.
We're not getting into this. It's not an argument.
I mean, okay. I just don't want to. My thing is, take care of business when you can take care of business, and don't let's say the Mets win, say 3-1 on tomorrow night. You don't pick up your foot off of their throat and you throw somebody other than deGrom. That's the way I look at it.
Now,
you throw your best foot forward, you go get the wins, and hopefully, then you worry about the next set of circumstances when you play the Dodgers.
But you like Chris Bassett, right? I mean, I know
I
that
do
the
like
last
Chris
start
Bassett.
was really bad.
The last start was awful. But then again, here's the thing. Those 3 games in Atlanta were filled with pressure. Mm-hmm. And one guy legitimately showed up, and his name was Jeff McNeil, who, by the way, congratulations, you won the batting title. It's an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing for you to do and to be able to say you had it. What?
Yay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, congratulations.
It's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah. No,
especially after last year and all the nonsense at the Squirrel and Lindor and everything else. It's a great accomplishment and good for him and good for the fans. Give him a standing ovation last night. That was great. I love that. And so that's all good. I mean, when you saw them down there in Atlanta, you saw them do things that they don't normally do. That means the pressure got to them.
Yeah, of course. I agree, which is a big problem. And that's one part of my feelings going into this series is, okay, pressure was off, bad team in the Nationals, and all of a sudden you hit again. I need to see Scherzer, DeGrom, and this offense, and the stars on this offense, meaning Lindor and Alonso, show up in those games. I have to see. Well, I actually put him in a category where I don't worry about him. I didn't worry about him in Atlanta. He got his job done. I'm talking about the guys who didn't get the job done in that Atlanta series, which was Scherzer, DeGrom, Bassett, Lindor, Alonso, and really the entire offense outside of Jeff McNeil.
Well, they got a lot of hits. They just couldn't get two out hits with men on base. They leave a lot of men on
singles
base.
too. Yeah, it was
a lot of men on base. A lot of men on base. You got to hit home runs. That's why this is the launch angle is a big discussion point. You want to discuss launch angle this morning?
No, I do not want to discuss.
I think you did because I don't really want to either. But I'm just going to open it by saying, don't take anything for granted. Go out and win with your best players. Do what you do, and then if you get past the Padres, then you worry about the next series. That's all. I mean, you can't go into these things thinking, oh, we got this one in the bag. Because when you start thinking that way, that's when you lose.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's...
Remember how the Knicks were playing Atlanta? Oh, we got this one. We got this one. We got that. Don't worry about it. And then Trae Young just made everybody look idiotic. And even our fans were looking idiotic, yelling F Trae Young.
Sure, yes.
I mean, so this is what happens. You cannot assume anything.
Yeah, I don't know if it's assuming something.
It sounds like it is.
It's no, because it's actually kind of not, because then you're also getting DeGrom set up for a potential elimination game. So you're not assuming it. You're just putting yourself in the best position to move on.
Give me my flamethrowers and let's go.
I hope so.
And I want to see north-south. I don't want to see east-west on Friday night, whatever the hell that is. I just want to see... Let's go. This is why you're here. This is why you're paid $43 million to be that bulldog tiger that we've been talking about all year long. And I'm talking about Max Scherzer. And, take those 2 different color eyes, get out there, and let's go.
Yeah. I mean, would you have preferred Scherzer over DeGrom in game 1? Because I thought it was going to be DeGrom. I really, because that's DeGrom pitched the first game against the Braves, and Scherzer pitched the second one. I just thought it was going to set up that way.
No, I like this. I actually like this better.
And Darvish is going to pitch. So it was Darvish, and I thought it was Musgrove. Now it is Darvish. It'll be Darvish and Scherzer on Friday night. 8:07 on ESPN, first pitch.
Yeah. So this is, I actually do like this. This is why Scherzer was brought here.
Yeah.
And he's been down this road before. And we'll see whether or not he has pop in his arm, as they say.
Yeah, as opposed to the dead arm issues that he was dealing with at the end of last year.
I don't want to hear about any dead arm issues. He's had a lot of time off.
He has.
This is it. This is why he's been here. He pitched 145 innings this year. Come on now. Let's go.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. That's what I was saying yesterday. Yeah, Beat these guys. It's enough. No excuses.
That's right. I'm ready to go. I'm not thinking about last week. I'm not thinking about last night. Now I'm thinking about San Diego. Yeah. I'm ready to go.
Do they scare you at all? Do they scare you at all? Because obviously the lineup on paper is scary.
Well, gee,
and Darvish is scary, and Musgrove is scary. They scare me a little bit.
We're a little scary. We're a little scary ourselves. We have guys that can scare other teams.
I'm not saying that the Mets don't.
They're saying the same thing we're saying about them. This is what the playoffs are all about. This is what it's all about, man. This is the agita that comes along with playoff games. This is what we hope for. This is what we live for. This is what we want.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any of you yahoos around here talking about last week in Atlanta anymore.
Yeah.
No more yahoo talk.
No yahoo talk?
No more of that.
All right, I won't talk about it anymore, but it is part of their story. And that's why the
forget
reason.
it, man.
It's part of their story.
Hey, forget
101 wins.
Great
on
year.
the season.
Great year.
And you still couldn't win the division.
Great year.
Great regular season.
Let's go.
Great regular season. It's not going to be a great year unless you win some playoff games.
And, let's not overthink this.
Who's overthinking stuff?
Listen, if they're messing with the pitching staff and figuring out this and that, and we'll hit with the Grom here, we'll go with that. No.
Well, this is the part of having Buck as the manager, man.
Let's just win.
Meticulous.
Let's just win and let's move on.
He is meticulous. And I'm so jealous of the Yankees and their fans. I could just sit back, watch the Guardians and the Rays.
And you know what they're worried about?
Get rest. Their bullpen is what they're worried about.
Yeah, they're worried about their bullpen, but they're also worried about how do we keep our team sharp now that we have so many days off.
Yeah, that's discussion.
A big thing. That's a big thing.
Right. Well, that's people who were trying to give you the silver lining with the Mets being the wild card team would say exactly that. Like maybe it's a blessing in disguise because you keep playing.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you have the momentum. You got a team sitting around in the Dodgers, and then they've won so much. Maybe they're complacent. Then the Mets are hot, and then they roll into L.A. And then who the hell knows? I don't know. I mean, you could look at every single example in baseball history, and I really don't know if you could say that one thing is better than another. And this is the first time that we have seen this particular format, so we really don't have any evidence to say how it works out. We've seen a one-game playoff plenty of times. We have not seen this 3-game wild card series into a 5-game NLDS, ALDS.
So I certainly do not like one-game playoffs.
No, that sucked. That was just terrible.
That was terrible.
I mean, think about if this were last year and the Mets had 101 wins and it came down to one game. You know how frustrating that would be? Or even prior to that, before the wild card was even a thing, and the Mets would have been out of the playoffs. So
what would be amazing is that we literally have a potential if the Mets go and win this weekend.
Oh, don't take anything for granted here.
I'm not taking. I didn't take it for granted. I said if.
Okay.
And then they got to go to L.A. I mean, we'll know by a week from Sunday whether or not they're moving on.
Yeah.
And that's how fast it's going to happen.
Sure. Regular season drags on forever. And postseason's bang, bang, bang.
It's bang, bang. Let's get through it.
Yeah, I know. I really hope that's what we're talking about. And it could set up, if things work the way that we want them to for the Yankees and Mets, it could set up for epic ALCS and NLCS matchups. I mean, if we're sitting here talking about the Yankees and the Astros and the Mets and the Braves, it does not get any better than that. And then, potentially, Subway Series after that. If that happened, oh, my God. What are you doing? You're counting stuff? 1, 2, 3, 4,
one
5.
Pitch, 1 inning, 1 game.
You just did it yourself.
Get focused on
you
one
just
pitch,
did it yourself.
1 inning, 1 game.
You just did it yourself.
I know what I did, but I was like speaking in generalities.
So was I.
And hypotheticals.
Yeah.
And no. You're talking about epic this, epic that.
It would be if
what
that
I want
happened.
is I want an epic. How many? I want an epic performance from Mad Dog Scherzer tomorrow. That's what I want.
Yeah. And I want to see the offense show up, not get shut down by Darvish like he did last time. That's what I really want to see. I'm not as worried about Max. I do think he'll pitch well, even though he didn't in Atlanta. I think he'll pitch well. It's the offense I'm worried about.
I don't want to see, the 5th inning, Machado comes up, hits a home run, and we're down 1-0.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
No,
I don't want to see any runs at all.
I'm with you. Strike out the side, score in the bottom, half of the first.
I always say pitch to contact.
Oh, yeah.
Conserve the pitches.
Sure.
When you go deep into counts and you strike people out, unless it's one of those immaculate innings.
Well, that's what Scherzer was doing in that perfect game. He wasn't striking everybody out that perfect game through 6 innings that he had.
Yeah.
And his pitch count was around 60-something. So that's
what you want.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, just get off to a good start.
Come on, I feel like you're excited now. I do feel like the tinge of anger that you had coming into the last 3 days, and here we are on Thursday now. So it's the eve of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And we got a little football tonight.
Yeah.
Little Indianapolis Colts at the Denver Broncos.
And not a great matchup. Don't love it. Jonathan Taylor not playing either.
Shaquille Barrett not playing.
Yeah. And Russell Wilson's just a tough watch these days. Just watching him on the field, off the field, just a tough watch. Oh, of course I'll watch. And I'll watch on Prime Video. It's the new era of Thursday Night Football on Prime Video.
Yes, we know that.
Yeah, but you got football tonight, and you got the week starting, and that's great. But I'm not quite there. I just if they win Friday night, of course I'll be all in. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. They win Friday night and they look good, I'll be all in at that point. But
how could you not be all in right now?
Because I told you
you're a Met
yesterday
fan.
For 4 hours why I wasn't all in right now.
You're a Met fan. You need to be all in right now.
It's just hard, man. It's just when you've been burned by the same thing over and over again, it's just hard to have that faith. It just is. With any one of my teams, my 3 favorite teams that I talk about all the time, the Mets, the Knicks, and the Vikings, I don't have faith until they start doing it. I mean, it's not my fault. It's their fault.
101 games and in the playoffs. So I think when pitchers and catchers, got together last year, I think we all felt like this was going to be the outcome. We wanted them to be in the playoffs. And many people predicted them to be in the playoffs. Very few people predicted them to win the NL East. They did predict them to be a wild card, if you go back and you look at it.
And what does that mean?
Well, what I'm saying is that they have, up to this point, have probably exceeded expectations with 101 wins.
Okay. But they should have won the division.
Not in your eyes.
But they should have won the division. Then it plays out. I mean, what people were thinking back in February means nothing. It really doesn't. It's what you had in front of you that you weren't able to accomplish. But you are in the playoffs, and you do have a shot. And yes, everybody will be excited Friday night. Hopefully Citi Field is rocking, and there's some sort of home field advantage for the Mets, which is a rarity in baseball.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.